Fintrac people are looking. They're not BCFSA. This is Fintrac. They're a different government organization that polices that, and they do their audits. So do be careful. We do have all of our forms out there. A couple of things I wanted to kind of hit on in particular. You certainly have to get a copy of their ID. Make sure you have that. Make sure that wherever the money is coming from, we're having a kind of issues there. Maybe Heather can help me out a little bit, where these wire transfers are not tracked properly. So we get the money coming into our account through a wire transfer or bank transfer, and we don't really know where that money's coming from. Is that right, Heather? That's kind of what happened. We got a couple that we had to ask for more information. What was that we did?
Well, anytime you do a wire transfer, you must provide the bank's original copy of the proof of where it was sent from, who it was sent by. So it would be provided by, whenever somebody sends a wire transfer, the bank would provide them with this summary, and we must have a copy of it because we must be able to prove where the money came from and who sent it.
Yeah, that's really important. We can't just have that money drop into our account and say, okay, everything's fine. So you know, be aware of that. And guys, you know, I know it's difficult to talk to your clients about this and ask for all these little bits and pieces. And I know that we get a lot of blowback from that from the realtors. Oh, my clients are old. They don't know that. That's not an excuse anymore. It is a requirement. It is by law, required by law. We cannot, you know, just blow it off. So in some cases, I think we had to ask for a copy of their bank statement to show that who the owners of that statement were. And I'm used to doing that with the mortgage broker stuff. We do banking all the time. We have to ask for their banking information, and we have to prove where the deposit, if it's a gifted down payment and it's coming from the parents, we need a copy of the parents' bank statement showing where it came from when it's being gifted to the kids. And you know, that was standard practice. That's been going on for years and years in the mortgage broker industry. We're not financial people as realtors. We're there to write, you know, enforceable contracts. We're not there to check finances. So we're not used to dealing with that. But nowadays, with Fintrac, you know, putting the hammer down, you know, you're going to have to ask a few more difficult questions with your clients, and it's going to be a little uncomfortable. But nonetheless, we have to do it, and you know, we're not going to let it go through the office unless it complies to what the requirements are. We know where that money's coming from, and at least whose account it's coming from, and that kind of thing. So we're going to ask a little bit more information on that. And it's not us; it's really Fintrac and BCFSA requiring us to do that. We're not making the rules here, guys, and we're not just putting roadblocks up to slow your deals down and stop that. We're here to kind of, you know, keep all of us, you know, out of real estate jail kind of thing. And that's kind of what my main thing is. And I certainly don't want to get one of these fines for $40,000, $50,000. I can't afford it. And I know Mike and Heather certainly can't afford it. I mean, we get one of those levied on us and we're, you know, it hurts bad. So I'd rather do preventive maintenance. We're going to implement a whole regime of Fintrac in the office. We've got a plan that we're going to work on, and we're going to have it all out there. And we're going to have forms for people to sign that they have at least read the emails and attended, you know, some of these seminars on that going forward. So I don't want to harp on that too much. I did include a bunch of forms out there, and I did include the link to the CREA website. That's about an hour video on what all the new requirements are and what we should be doing, what we shouldn't be doing. So I'm not going to get into that today. It's you know, this is our sales meeting. We're kind of a positive thing. I don't that's more of a compliance thing. So please do read that. Just a couple of things. If you do have a corporate entity in there, we have to do a company search and make sure we identify you know, who the principals are of that company, and going forward. And we need 2 Fintracs if it's a numbered company or a corporation. You need Fintrac on the person signing, the individual signing, and you need a Fintrac on the corporation. And Angel can help you with that. She can do a company search. If it's ABC 123 company, she can do the company search. The company search will come up with who the principals are, and you know, you can go from there. And if you have any questions about that, call me. The other way that we're finding a little bit more often is you know, where somebody goes into another office in another city, And usually we can use, not usually, but we can use another real estate company. And because Century 21 is across the world, I would recommend that you contact, if there is a Century 21 office in that city that your client happens to be in, that they make an appointment with, it doesn't have to be the managing broker, but it has to be one of their designates. It could be another realtor. And they go in and they do the same thing that they would do with you in person. They would show the ID. The realtor would fill in all the information on the Fintrac, and then they kind of send it to us. But there's a separate form that it's an agreement between us and the other agent or realtor saying that they're going to act on our behalf and they're going to do this for us. So they would go into their office. So if somebody from Montreal wanted me to identify this person, I'd come into my office, I'd get their ID, I'd take a photocopy of it, I'd make sure that the person is one and the same, and get everything done, and then send that all off to our clients. So we're dealing with the person in question here, and we've got the proper ID. You have to talk to your client, and if you're taking a listing or you're working with an older person, make sure that you're having that conversation early. So we had one where they didn't have any driver's license or something like that. And we had to identify them through their tax returns and their credit bureaus and so on and so forth to make sure they're there. And I just told the realtor in that case that make sure they have, go and apply for a government ID and make sure we have it before they close and get a copy of it so we can put it on file. Because it's really not worth it to us for what we're getting paid to get fined, $40,000 or $50,000 or whatever they're gonna, whatever the penalty is these days. Take the time to ask the tough questions early, and make sure you're getting the proper ID and you know who you're dealing with and where the money's coming from, and have those conversations early with your clients. Then you're not going to have the problem later on. Oh, I need a copy of your bank statement. Why? Why do you want my bank statement? That's nothing to do with you. Well, it's Fintrac. Well, there are publications out there for people, and I will send those out as well. It's the law. We need to ask these questions. So don't feel bad about that. We're going forward. Heather, did you have anything you wanted to add to that about wire transfers or anything like that?
No, Daisy's putting together a really great just summary of exactly how all of these forms need to be filled out, because I know it's frustrating for people when they turn them in, they got to go back, you got to add something, so it's just the true and right way to do these things. It's not complicated. It just needs to be done correctly. Otherwise, we need to do it again, and it's just a pain. So she's doing a great job of providing a summary, and she's going to provide a full deck of all of the documents filled out perfectly with notes, so that it's just really simple, and it just will make everybody's lives going easier.
Yeah. Thanks. Yeah. So the other thing I had is deposit refunds. For one thing, you guys, normally the deposit is payable upon final subject removal. And one thing on that one there, what I always put on my contracts is, the deposit is payable within 1 business day of final subject removal. 1 business day means that if you remove subjects on a Friday and it's a long weekend, coming up maybe November 11th is a long weekend, that's a Monday, and you have subject removals on that Friday, that means if I put within 1 business day of final subject removal, that means my client doesn't have to have the deposit into us until the Tuesday. That's very, very important, because if you're dealing with some of these banks, they're not open on the Saturday. You remove subjects on the Friday, and then Saturday it comes up and they can't get a bank draft or they can't get the money transferred. Then you got to get an addendum, and you're kind of somewhat opening up the contract to change it to, 48 hours or longer to get the deposit in. So be very careful about that. I would recommend you save that clause in your custom clauses on web forms so that you have that and you just put that in for deposits all the time. And it's not, we had one where it said within 1 business day or 24 hours. That's a little bit ambiguous. Is it 1 business day or is it 24 hours? Well, I guess you take the longer of the two, but you don't want anything ambiguous. You want things that are perfectly clear. There's no misunderstandings whatsoever. Within 1 business day of final subject removal, there's nothing confusing about that. People understand that it is what it is. So be perfectly clear on that when you're dealing with your deposits. Now, for whatever reason, some people pay the deposit, have their client pay the deposit before they remove subjects. Well, that becomes a problem, you guys. And yeah, maybe the listing realtor wanted that or something like that. But the problem with that is when your client pays the deposit to us, we have to put it into our trust account. Once it goes into our trust account, we can't get that money out without both signatures, the buyer and the seller. Regardless if the deal collapses, we can't just arbitrarily give the money back to the buyer. We need to get the seller's signature to release that. We need a separate release form other than the contract saying that the buyer and the seller agree to release the funds back to the buyer or whoever they designate to receive the funds. We need that form signed. So be very, very careful about that, and be very careful about when filling out the form, the deposit return form, that you put the specific name of the people that the deposit is going back to on the form. Make sure that if it's, Bill R. Smith, you put Bill R. Smith on there. If it's Bill R. Smith and Mary S. Smith, then put both of them on there. Make sure you specifically put that on there, and all the IDs match and everything matches on that. It's really becoming very important that we cross our T's and dot our I's on these things, and we're going to hold things up in the office if they're not done properly. So just be aware of that. Take a deep breath when you're dealing with your clients. Think about it. If you have a question, call me, call Mike, call Heather. Let us know what your question is with regards to the deposit and what happens, and then we'll kind of guide you through that so that it's as pleasant as possible with your client. Your client's not getting surprises, because like Ken Pather says, the only surprises in real estate are bad ones. And you want to kind of inform your client up front as to what's going on, and if they understand why you need it and why you need that copy of their thing, they can black out all of their information of if you're looking at a bank statement, and we just need the name on the bank account, that kind of thing. But explain why it's Fintrac. It's not us. It's not the office. It's everybody that has to do it. So try and work on that one there. A couple other things I had this week were out of town purchases. This is not Fintrac anymore. You've got a bunch of information on the Fintrac there, handouts in the video. So we're going to cut that one off. I'm not going to go on to there anymore. But the other was out of town. We're getting some purchases out of town. This one was in Salt Spring Island. Be careful about that, because the tendency there is to your client goes out to Salt Spring Island, wants to see a property, and you call you touch base the realtor, and you get a code for whatever, or you give your client the code to get into the property on their own. Well, that's not acceptable. The real estate board will come down really hard on that. You're not allowed to give your codes out to your clients. You have to be there with your clients. So please be careful about that. If it so happens that you can't be there, contact the listing realtor and ask them if they can attend your client. Sometimes they will, sometimes they won't. But under no circumstance are you to give your codes out for your Sentry Box lock boxes. You must attend to those, and if you don't, you're going to get fined for sure on that one there. And there's nothing I can do to protect you. If you're giving out your codes, you're done. And the board doesn't look favorable on that at all. So really be careful about that. Watch out for these out of town listings. Don't just blow them off. Other problems they had, got a couple of calls this week from other managing brokers. We had our realtors making appointments and not showing up for the appointments. And that's a bit of a problem. You all know you may or may not know, but if you don't have a listing, if you've had a listing, you know that you're putting your clients, it's inconvenient for them to, if you got a last minute showing and you got to call your client and say, hey, you got to get your kids out of here. I got people coming in. We had one on Wednesday, and we're trying to get the gal out. She's a mom, single mom, 2 kids. She's got to clean the place up. She's got to do all of her stuff for it, all these things. And then go somewhere for an hour while the showing happens, and if the realtor doesn't show up for that, it's not good for all of us. It's not good for the listing. His client's going to be mad at him, and it's not good all around. It doesn't look good. So if you do have a specific appointment for a showing and you can't make it, try and give the listing realtor a heads up. And call, whoever and say, hey, Mike, I'm sorry, I can't make it. Or I'm going to be a half an hour late or 15 minutes late. That's just common courtesy and good business etiquette to do that. Not doing that causes a lot of problems all the way around, and you can see why realtors get mad. If you're waiting, you had your client, you had them pack their kids up and leave for a half an hour, and then you call them back and say, geez, guys, we're going to be another half an hour. The realtor's late. They're going to be, what do you do with kids? I mean, they're not, you can't just entertain them and treat them like that. So please, communications is number one for rules of cooperation. Be returning your calls when people call you. If you're going to be late for listing, please do. If you have a problem, we had one a couple of weeks ago where the place was just disgusting when we moved in for the move-in, and the other listing realtor wouldn't call back, wouldn't return calls, so I just ignored them and put them on ice for our guys, and it just exasperated the whole thing. Our realtor was super upset. His client was super upset. They want to file a complaint at the board and so on and so forth. Had the guy just called and said, look, there's nothing I can do. I talked to my client about it. They left it like that. I will talk to them, but I can't control that, whatever they leave it as. I mean, at least a phone call and kind of try and deflate the situation would have helped there. Don't just ignore problems when you have them. Pick up the phone. If you have a question, call me, call Mike. We'll help you through it. We'll give you the guidance you need to kind of, call them. And if I have to call in the managing broker and say, look, I'm sorry, there's nothing we can do. Please, don't blame our realtor. They've done everything they can. I will do that. So we're all on the same team here, guys. Communication is important. Mike and I are here to help you out, Heather as well. If you have questions, about anything, Fintrac, anything, call any one of us. If you're having a problem with a deal, call us as well. And we'll help you through that. And, usually we'll come to the right conclusion and we'll contact the right people and keep things on an even keel. You don't want to be ignored at any time. One more thing I had this week was assuming a tenanted property. There is a clause in web forms that says, gives you all the information. You can put that right into your contract, how much the deposit was, when the last rent increase was, and how much they're holding for deposit, so on and so forth. So if you're selling or buying a tenanted property, reach out. No, any problem, anytime is fine for me going forward on that. Mike, that's all I got here. I'm kind of all complianced out here. You got something you wanted to
Yeah, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Awesome. I'm on. Okay. Yeah, guys, I just think it's all about the contract, the wordings and the clauses, and please cooperate with us because we're being told to tell you, and as long as we're telling you to do it, we have the forms for you. There should be no excuse not to bring them in. I'm really focusing on social media lately with seeing what other realtors and brokers are doing. And I interviewed this guy yesterday. I was quite impressed. The realtors with a different brokerage, obviously, been licensed for 3 years. First goal to do 2,600 open houses. 2,600 open houses. Go attend them. So that's Monday through Sunday, where however we can fit it in. And with permission from the listing agent, he was allowed to video and publish the open houses. He did that 2 years in a row. This year, his goal is to do 1,100 or 1,200. I forgot. I wrote my note down. I lost it somewhere. But holy crap, guys, that's a lot. So for a lot of us that think that there's nothing to do, why don't you just set your goal for doing 1,200 open houses videos and produce some content? Because now he's saying realtors are calling him to do some video for them at the open house because he doesn't charge anything. It's pretty simple. He's got his phone, he's got his stick, the non-wobbly stick, he's got a drone, and he goes out and does it, and he's making business from it. So he's 3 years into the business. Realistically, he's got another 2 years before he really knows if this profession is going to provide him with a lifestyle that he and his fiance are wanting to have. But there's a lot of simple stuff that you guys can do. And I see I'm going to give our new our newbie, Kudo Simas, starting to put out content. She's probably put out more content lately than 15% of our office is doing. And she just started. So for those that aren't doing it, do it. And for those that are doing it, do more. And it will pay back, because people want to see that you're in the business. And the trick of the trade for these guys is they're in a condo. Let's say they're in off let's say they're off of a Pacific Street somewhere with a beautiful view. They give a general idea of where they are and what floor they're on, and saying, if you want information on the suite deal, give me a call, because then that drives business to you. They're always talking to their customers in the sphere of influences in social media. They are always asking questions to get a response back. They talk to both partners, that if there are in the transaction, consistently and equally, because usually what frustrates the deal, and again, this is what he was telling me on his first home purchase, the realtor would just basically engage him and not engage his partner, and that pissed the partner off, because there's no dialogue or consideration. So don't put yourself into that position. You can't, if you have a husband and wife or a couple that are both going to be on the agreement, you have to talk to them both equally and explain it to them both, so they can make the right decisions for you. That's basically what I have. I know we're gonna go through the slides again that John Armstrong did regarding the medical dental benefit plan that Heather and I helped carved out for you guys. For those that don't have anything, there's a real simple, less expensive plan, and for those that want a little bit more detailed, more comprehensive, there's the Cadillac, and there's five different plans to have. Price point, I believe, from what I've seen in the market, is really, really good. And the plans for the plan 4 and plan 5 are really good coverages, equal to pretty much what a corporation can get for its employees. So have a look at that. I think that's important for you guys to have as a backup, because it's just an extra insurance just in case something does happen. Heather, I didn't have anything more about John's stuff. Did you?
No. You sent out the summaries?
We're supposedly the summaries are done. We just asked John to put it in some 5 different slides to show everybody what they are, and then have one slide that compares columns to columns, because plan A will have the 12 columns 4 ticked, and plan B will have 7 ticked, and plan C will have 8, just to go on that way, so you can see what stuff that you're getting with it, and obviously the limits to it as well. But everybody's got to know an extended medical dental plan only stays affordable as the less that we all use. So if you're a heavy user on this plan, expect your premiums to go up, because the insurance company's goal is to make a profit, not make a loss, right? So that's why these are all good individual plans that he's put together for us.
So if we send out the summaries to everyone and let them have a day or two to look at it, that'd be great to have a follow-up meeting just specific to that for questions.
Yeah, and then John's the go-to person, because then I've basically talked about my pay grade and what I know about extended medical and dental plans, as you know. And but anyway, let everybody have an option. It's nice that we've got something on the table now.
Yeah, absolutely.
And the market, guys, from what I'm seeing. And Paul Hood, he's in a meeting, but he's on here texting me. He's expecting 50 basis points tomorrow, minimum quarter basis points, and from what I'm hearing from other counterparts is it should drop 75 to 100 basis points before the end of the year, which is great for everybody. And that's what I think is one of the things that's going to put some wind in the sails of the buyers and sellers, because money's becoming a little bit less expensive, but there's no guarantee on what's going on. We've got a provincial election that just happened that we're stalled for 2 weeks so they can count the envelopes. We got a federal election coming up next year, and we got south of the border happening. So there's a whole bunch of obstacles in the way, but I'm feeling that now is the time for people to get really serious at making offers based on their interest rates and their position, because if it drops again, there's going to be more buyers coming in. And what I'm told is, you know, supply and demand, more buyers, and then it's going to be a seller's market. Price is going to go up. So should they have bought it at when they could lock into a mortgage at 50% more than what they actually got? Who knows? I'm not the actuary, but it's a fine line of when to go in. But when they go in is when they're ready to buy and when they can afford to buy. But it's a positive news for us that the interest rates are coming down one more time. Oh, well, they're going to come down 2 more times before the end of the year, unless something crazy happens. But who knows? Can't budget on that. But that's all I got there, Doug, my fine feathered friend. Good to see you. If anybody needs anything from us, please ask. Come in with your help, business plan, strategies, marketing, you know, just or how-tos. We're also going to put some stuff back onto our Google Docs in regards to first-time buyers, how to get your home ready for selling and all that, just so you have some simple content to send out and hand to people that are in that category. Anjali is doing an amazing job on your real estate stats for your local markets. She's producing the cards. She's got them sitting up on the Google Docs. Anjali or Angel, if you can send that link to show everybody where it is on this, that would be great too. And if you're missing a neighborhood that she doesn't have, it's really simple. Just send her an email at admin.marketing@century21.ca and ask for it, and she'll put it together in the next run. We have 2 intern marketing students that are available for you guys to do video content on your services, on your product, or in the languages that you speak. Come on, use them while we have them, because it's basically it's free to you. Unless you take them out on the road somewhere, then we're gonna get you to pay a little bit for that. But use them in-house. We've got all the equipment. We've got green screens. You've got fake backgrounds to use, but just get some more content out. And I promise it'll start looking better the more times that you do it. And the hardest thing about doing all this social media content is starting. So I'm trying to make it easier by allowing some of our team to help you start. We're getting busier, guys. Get out there, do your opens, do your 26 open houses, videos, but get on the street, show that you're in the real estate, have your logo, your swag up, whatever it takes to be found and recognized in the business. And I promise you, someone will ask you a question. So on that note, I'm gonna take off. If nobody has any questions, I'll see you later, Heather. I'll be home. Okay. Take care, guys.
Okay, guys. Yeah, I think that's it for all of us here.
Quick thing.
Yeah.
Melissa has 2 listings that she needs help with open houses. Please check your WhatsApp group and let us know if you can help her out. She has a new listing coming up by the end of the week in Pitt Meadows.
Good.
Thank you.
Good, yeah. All right, so Realty 101, we'll pick that up after this one. I think we're scheduled at 11, probably 11:15. Probably we'll go a little early at 11 because we're done here early. All right, guys, that's it for today. We'll, if you're in Realty 101, we'll see you shortly. 11 o'clock we'll start.
Sure.
All right, bye
Thank
now.
you. Bye.